I'm ready.
If you're ready, then I'm ready. Here we
All right.
are,
We're
nominally
trucking.
trucking.
Yeah, can you join my job? Because I'm 55 grand in the hole. I have a feeling that will go deeper.
Job.
If you can, I'll have to cancel and join yours, and then I'll be like 75 grand in the hole.
Well, I don't have a job right now, so if you and take same job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to Pittsburgh, Kansas. I didn't know Kansas had a Pittsburgh.
It does. It's not great.
What do you mean it's not great? Kansas
A lot of
has a
drugs.
peerless reputation for being one of the finest states in the union.
Where did your job
Finest.
start at?
It started in Grangeville, Idaho. There.
What's my... Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the closest fast travel location is going to be.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here on the side of the road idling, burning gas I don't have.
I guess
I'm gonna
Coeur
have
d'Alene.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. What did I do to my truck?
What did you do to your truck, deputy? What did you do to your truck?
What did I do to my truck? Peterbilt, why aren't you fucking driving? Ivan,
I
I'm
love.
going to kill you.
Wait, what's wrong with his truck?
I don't know.
What? Just go hit him with a belt. All right, let's
Okay.
look at your truck. I'm looking at the stream so I can see the condition.
Oh god, yeah. I need to stream.
No, you do not need to stream to me. I do not need to see you in real time because I'll see you in my rearview mirror, and that will be all the encouragement I need to step on the gas.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's fucked up. Why is your truck? Yeah, it's not fucked up at all.
I don't know. I think it's just high wear. Remember?
High wear.
Yeah.
Well, how bad is it?
Substantial vehicle wear, 4% wear.
That. Well, no, that's 4% damage. You need to go to the shop and see what you haven't fixed in a while. I swear
Yes.
to God, if I'm watching this and I see that those numbers where it's like, you're down to 20 horsepower or whatever, I'm going to start screaming. All right, yeah. All right, yeah, hit enter. Let's see. Uh-huh. And then hit service.
13, yeah.
That's not bad. Replace the tires. That's the cheapest. They're like, your engine's full of dirt. And you're like, yep, time for new tires. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
engine.
Your engine's not that bad. Yeah. And then just do that. And you should be all right. Look. Voila. Sure, the frame's not straight.
It's only 3% damage. You know, in this game, you do more than that coming out of a fucking parking lot.
I do. I do that, like, backing up. It's just. I don't know. I mean, you scare me when you drive. I'm just saying that generally you are a terrifying driver. Do you drive like this in real life?
No, that's why I drive like this in video games.
I drive like a grandma in real life. When I was
The
young, I
fuck
used to
you
drive.
do?
What do you mean? Okay, sometimes I drive a little fast. I mean, yeah, we did whip a few shitties going around, and I did go sideways that one time. I I've I took a course on driving fast.
Yeah, I've taken similar courses, but I also, don't implement them all the time.
I can't turn that off, bud. I'm autistic. The brain doesn't let me. The safest car I had was the slowest car I had. It was safe for everyone. However, when I
God,
rented
that's
a,
a lot of traffic.
don't worry about
Jams.
it.
What's the button for flashy lights?
Flashing the lights.
Flashy lights. I want flashy light.
L for the light, maybe.
No,
K.
that turns on my normal lights.
Ether will know.
Ether would
Ether,
know.
yeah, he's actually watching chat. Ether will just probably be like, "Oh, it's like Z for
Oh, Jesus Christ, just let me go.
just go." It's J for Gelite.
J for July.
Uh-huh.
J is not doing it.
J is not doing it.
Nope. And I'm pretty sure J on the standard bind is that high beams? I mean my beacon lights. I'm looking at my beacon lights.
Oh. The
Yeah.
You want to do the
dust flashing light.
das flashing boopin' beepin'? All right. I'm just sitting on the side of the road.
God's favorite mailbox.
What? Holy shit! If I looked out and saw a mailbox that stopped somebody, like a bollard at a military base, I would just clap. Try O. Is it O?
It is O.
O for oh shit, these things better work?
Yeah, O for that did 50% damage to my truck.
Mazel tov. I got one of those Chihuahua dogs that bobs, on my dashboard in my truck, and I ask it questions when I drive. I'm like, hey, should I let this car over? And then I juke the wheel and it shakes its head. And then I kill them with my truck.
Okay.
By the way, for everyone watching now, we are in the final steps of putting together our next TechSox Battletech. So if anyone has any really good clips of us, like your favorite clips of the last year for this show, when we were on Monday or as we are now on Fridays, send them to me. Send them to me in DMs. Say, this is the best clip. Anything under 10 seconds. The best clip of just what the fuck. I challenge you to find that. Send it to me in DMs and I will use it in the video.
Yeah, we need it for commercial.
Yes, it's going to be... Well, we do the intermission.
That are coming to fruition. That's what I
Yes.
mean, the intermission.
Yeah, we've got some... we've got a lot of projects coming to fruition. We're almost done with the Magistratum Mundanus manual. The next step is going to be getting Eldonius to do art and me writing one last thing, and then we will be donezo. Because Goat sent you a few minor changes, and that was it.
Yeah, we got to get that last little section hammered out, and then it's just adding in Eldonius' stuff, and it should be good for release. It looks really good.
I taught
myself how to lay out PDF and print documents to do this.
It looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, it looks really professional. So, yeah, in the Magistratum Mundanus manual, I'm just going to hand out. I'm just going to give it around, being like, hey, if you guys want to run a game with your friends, run it. And it'll be all there. Except it's not the whole campaign. I don't write out everything that can happen or what have you, because this went way off the rails of what I planned. But it'll have the starting point of how to start the campaign, and then the various forces that are arrayed against you and how to try to navigate that. And then just letting you do whatever.
That cop had a problem with.
Really?
I should have been on the shoulder where there's no speed limit.
That's true. That's true. And I will not print or sell anything that's Game Workshop related. I don't want to go to prison.
God, no.
They have so many lawyers. Ask Astartes. It's a bad time. I'm not going to be that guy. I have lawyer too, but not GW level of lawyer.
Yeah. We have to count the hours we pay our attorneys.
Yeah. Coyote says, I hope some of the art in the Magistratum Mundanus is the captain punching Quinn in the face. That's not on our art list, but we might get some art. Because we're going to have Eldonius, who did the print of the whole crew of the Mundanus. We're gonna have Eldonius do all the weird marginalia and stuff, and there's also a lot of funny diagrams, and then Dep actually put police procedural shit in there, so you can actually learn. Your players can learn how to be cops, in the basic sense.
And I think people will enjoy it.
I can't wait to hear what people did in their game.
Yeah,
Because I remember when I told you guys you could be anything but police. And you guys make all these various characters, and I'm like, all right. And then I start, and I'm like, you're all cops now. And you're like, oh no. Because you basically made the post-apocalyptic cavalry officer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, did you go on 2 wheels?
Yep.
That was amazing.
I'm gonna need a service center when I get to Greenville.
Oh my god.
If
I'm just idling.
If I could eat myself off this cliff, I would. But there's invisible walls, because they don't like
I know.
fun here.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if this game had like the deformation and damage of like Beam NG?
That's God, yeah, no, that's what I was hoping it would have. See, invisible wall right there.
Good God, Dep. Please. Please. We haven't even started yet.
Now, I wonder if I'm close enough to tow to Greenville.
I'm really starting to sweat here because you've
I'm
driven.
trying to get there fast so that we can.
Yeah, that's
Lewiston.
like.
How close is Lewiston to you?
I don't know. I don't know Idaho. I thought it was all like Potatoburg and, you know, like Russettville or something.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm right outside Lewiston. Yeah, tow me to service.
Bully Snake says, service center, you're going to need a scrapyard.
Once I pick up the load, I won't be quite so nutty with it.
So I was
Trying to keep
looking.
you from waiting. You're sitting on the side of the road.
It's fine. I'm just drinking. It'll be all fine. But no, God, I was playing the Soviet City Simulator.
Yes.
You know, and I was reading through mods. And one guy talked about what he made for one of his mods was a gravel crusher, right?
Okay.
It was a gravel crusher, like for a small city, like it was a small gravel crusher.
Yeah.
And he's like, it generates 8 tons of gravel a day, because all the mods are in Simlish, you know, they're all in Cyrillic. And one guy wrote, hey, this tiny gravel crusher that is really tiny and convenient generates as much pollution as the big one. And the guy wrote back, yes, is accurate. Like, you're like, oh wow, this is really efficient. Not in Soviet system. They just smog. Oh my god.
I'm almost... Okay. Almost there. Hour from getting the trailer.
Hour?
Hour.
All right.
Hour.
All right. I'll be back.
1 hour in game, not... Fuel up. That did some damage. It's a good thing I got overdraft protection, I guess. Where's the schlock spot?
All right, I'm back. D.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Ich muss der Badezimmer gehen.
What?
My guy was about to pass out.
That's fine. Just take some of them gas station boner pills. You'll be all
I
right.
did.
Just gotta go.
The acidic coffee.
Yeah. Just drop them in the coffee and it starts to fizz.
And left is for losers. See, nobody was there. I was right. Objectively.
Was he? All right.
Alright, yeah, I'm getting close. You should be able to feel me coming.
Oh boy,
And hear me.
Phrasing. Okay, you're moving on the map. Oh my God, you are really moving. All right, I will need to merge into traffic All right, I'm an idiot. I was holding the gas down, being like, "Oh man, my truck is broken" because I'm revving and going nowhere. I had the parking brake on.
Oh, well, give me a second to get the trailer, and then I can join you.
Don't worry, I'll make sure traffic doesn't go anywhere. I just got a rolling start.
You will be underwhelmed by Pittsburgh, Kansas.
So, tell us the story of Pittsburgh, Kansas. What's there?
The Pitt State is there. It's one of the state adjacent colleges.
Pitt State.
Yeah, Pittsburgh State is what they call it. Their
Okay.
their mascot is not Harambe,
What?
but it is an ape.
What? Okay, so they have an ape for a... Guy on Broadway says, Dep is about to show where the Cannonball and Cannonball Run comes from.
Dude, Cannonball Run in trucks would be something. Alright, I shouldn't do this one-handed while I'm on my phone.
What? Why? What are you doing?
Deciding what's for dinner, I guess.
I'm ordering me some Grubhub at 75. Oh my god. Oh man, I have to pull in for an inspection?
That doesn't sound
God.
like you.
No, it doesn't. If you go slow enough, they can't see you.
Oh! No network connection. What the fuck? That's gonna kick me. Yep.
So what causes this? No
So
network
I
connection.
thought it was an issue with my router. And I reset my router, redid all the drivers. Hadn't had an issue for about a week, but I also have been working, so I haven't really torture tested it.
It's all right.
35 grand.
35 grand.
Yeah, playing with you cost me 35 grand. You are so poor that you are, by extension, making me poor for being near you.
Now I'm sad. You're like, your paw has rubbed off on me. Yeah. Tex is an expensive friend. You're not wrong.
It's like the light bending rich guy in Disco Elysium.
That's
but in
exactly
reverse.
what I was thinking of. Yeah, in reverse. Poverty. Extreme poverty. Poor by
Black hole
association.
poverty.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it stuck me back up here because I didn't.
All right. So, yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be fine. I'm sitting here idling at the rest stop.
Yes, you are.
I think it's a rest stop. I don't know.
Of course, it would do it right as I get to the fucking city I gotta pick it up in.
Well, that's better than being down the road. Do you have a new truck? Is this a different truck?
No, this is that same Peterbilt that I bought with like one condition star. And I was like, oh, this pizza deal.
This pizza deal. It's what it says on Facebook Marketplace.
Pretty much.
It says this pizza deal, and then like I love when they show something for sale and you can tell by camera work they're trying not to show something.
Oh yeah. Like
So it shows
coincidentally,
everything.
There's no photos of the passenger side.
There's no photos of the seats because they're all just skid marked up. Like the person just writes, "I have IBS" in the description.
Oh god. Let's see if the roads out of Missoula are any fucking straighter than out of Coeur d'Alene.
I'm sitting here in the rest stop area, and it says it's not a rest stop, and that's making me mad. I think occasionally that when you drive in this game, there should be animals that cross the road, and if you have the bash bar on the front, they just
take no
explode.
damage.
Yeah, you take no damage, and they explode into mist. and then it has like Kenny Rogers. I don't know why Kenny Rogers, but it just has Kenny Rogers like, man, that's cool.
Or no, it plays like the first 4 bars from Know When to Fold 'Em.
Goat and I sing a version of that song where we just keep saying know when to fold them. No holding, just folding.
Yeah.
Song about giving up.
The song about being an adult.
Yeah, gotta know when to fold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to fold away. And know when to fold.
Oh, God. Yeah, no.
You better fold your money when folding at the table. Time enough to fold away when folding is done. Didn't Kenny Rogers have
Gambling problem?
well, I had not actually thought of that. What I was thinking is, didn't he have a line of like chicken restaurants?
Something.
Yeah, because I remember seeing something like Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Oh, you're thinking of Broster's Chicken.
Broasters?
Broster's Chicken.
It sounds like someone is like legally saying like, oh yeah, you know, I don't roast chicken, I broast it. You know,
That's exactly
TM.
what they say.
Ugh.
That fucking charger.
All right, so the Night Owl says, yeah, Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Oh, okay. So Broster's Chicken is something out here. I thought he just affiliated.
Wait,
himself.
there is a Broasters chicken?
Yes.
We don't roast it. What is broasting?
It's it appears to be steam cooked deep fry.
What is steam cooked? Choose one.
Well, you know, you do the breading and you deep fry it and then you freeze it, and then when it comes time for making it warm again, you steam cook it like the school lunch.
Oh my god, that sounds dumb.
It's a chain that unaffiliated gas stations here can buy into.
Ah,
It
right.
Actually, so I'm making it sound awful, but for gas station chicken, it's actually quite good.
I
know that's like being the fastest car in the junkyard, but
oh my god. I just
oh god, that's not a useful angle.
Oh, no it's not. You gotta know when to steam them, know when to roast them.
Know when to roast them.
There was I remember when I was a kid that I went to Outback Steakhouse, and for a time I talked about this on the podcast because I thought I had dementia, or I was just misremembering shit, because you know how memory is. It's just your brain doesn't always work. So I thought I was, you know, not remembering things. And I was like, I could have sworn at Outback Steakhouse, in addition to the Australian theme and names of stuff, they put on fake Australian accents. And I could have sworn, and then I had people who told me they never did that. That's just all in your head. You saw the Australian stuff and Australian theming, and you just presumed it. Then I had a guy call in on the podcast who was like, oh yeah, I worked for Outback back in. We had to do it.
Yeah. Like they stopped doing it sometime in the early 2000s, maybe?
Could you imagine getting a company or a corporate manual who was like, here's how to fake an Australian accent?
Yes, I can.
Like...
they teach everybody at fucking Texas Roadhouse the square name.
Well, that's fair. What's funny is I did take an Australian to yeah,
well,
and they said this is cultural blackface. That's what he told me. He was very upset. I was like, aren't you having a bonzer time? Don't you want some shrimp on the Barbie? He was livid. He was like, this is not what Australia's like. And I was like, but they have Fosters. He was really mad. Like, really livid. He was just like, this is all fucked, cunt. You know, like, he was not happy.
So
it was great.
God, we had a friend who'd never been to the U.S. before came over. there's no British restaurants to take people to, right? We took him to Wendy's instead. That man ordered like $70 worth of food. And we're like, Jesus Christ, he's a tiny little thing. He's like, oh yeah, I'll have 6 chickens combo. Sure. What to drink? Goes through the whole thing. Doesn't understand American money, so they're like, that'll be 67 something. He'll say, okay. He hands over a fistful of cash like he's a int 1 character in Fallout. And then the entire crew had to start bringing out trays to him of chicken sandwiches with French fries and drinks.
Oh.
And he just gets more and more panicked as this food continues to arrive. He's like, I thought they were tiny, like the little White Castle ones. Does it say White Castle on the building? Then it's not White Castle ones.
No, I remember.
That bus. Good thing I drifted around him.
Just imagine the company, like it's the regulators hearing the radio. Thank God I drifted around it.
I'm a bit quiet compared to Tex. That's
one of my
conundrum.
Yeah, it is. One of my favorites was when we went to the Outback. He said, "I'll have a beer."
Oh God, it's 50 here. I'm doing 73. Okay.
Oh, he said, "I'll have a beer," right?
Yes.
So you may or may not know this, but Australians enjoy drinking. Like severely. So he said, "I'll have a
little 3%."
No, so the beer came out and he finished it like 2 seconds after the lady set it down. Like it was gone. And he goes, "Miss, do you have a larger beer?" So she brings out a pitcher and he says, "Fair enough," and finished it in like 5 seconds. Like it was a challenge, and the lady was horrified. And he's like, "Can I get some bread?" I think he drank 3 pitchers with dinner. He was perfectly sober. Australians don't get drunk, they just start talking more like Crocodile Dundee background characters. They were like, "Get one in you." I mean, they just start talking like bogans. You can't understand shit. And you're just like, okay, I hope we don't get in a fight.
God, fuck these roads, man. Get me back out into the Midwest where, it's all flat and straight.
I want to be dangerous, says Dep.
But no, to get up to 70 on these twisty mountain roads.
Good lord. Yeah, I'm watching you come down the road on the map, but no, Australians are fucking hilarious. Like, I asked in the BPL, because I was genuinely curious, like, how different would that movie Aliens be if all the guys, on the ship were Australian? How short would that movie be?
Yeah.
Be like, "All right, Bruce, we got a hissy cunt down in the basement." And then they just stomp it. They don't even mention it in the logs. It's a non-issue.
That oncoming driver's car shit its pants. Yeah. I can't imagine that was very fun to be a part of for them.
No, Australians are fucking
hilarious. The facehugger
hilarious.
would die and get a small John Hurt burst out of it.
That would be funny. I watched an Australian open a beer with his eye. It was not a twist-off cap. I saw that happen, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Nah, I'm Australian, mate." I was like, "Okay, sure." But no, I mean, they're a magical group of people that are dangerous. That's largely what I've learned about Australia.
I've started when people ask me if I'm okay, saying no and then not elaborating at all. And it makes people really uncomfortable.
So you just go, no. And then
Yeah.
you go back to whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done that before. And yeah, no, he opened the beer with his eye orbital. Just like, like it was a monocle. It was not a twist off. Just, opened it.
Okay. Active convoy.
I'm just sitting here
Doing the
calmly
same job,
minding
yeah.
my own business.
I'm taking your fucking job, okay?
Guy on Broadway says, I'm a fan of the nervous when asked when I'm okay. Oh, man. You're not in trouble until you start hearing something that sounds like a kettle whistling, and you realize it's sounds that are coming out of your mouth. That's when you know you're in trouble. When you're just like, ah! When you unconsciously just start sounding like a lunatic. That's when you're in trouble.
A lot of gravel for Grangeville.
House Tremere says, I watched an Indian man drink an entire case of Carlsberg with his Vindaloo at our local Indian restaurant and was still somehow sober. That's awesome.
It says we're 5 minutes away. Yes, okay, cool. We go by the Not Boot Barn. Go. Farmer's Barn. Yep, good for you. Clear left. That wasn't important.
We are really not doing a good job here.
I'm doing a great job. That was the first collision I had this, trip.
You've heard of first collision. Have you heard of second collision?
Where's my job?
I don't know. Do you have the same, are you at the right place?
I'm at the right place.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Said it already readied up the trailer.
Oh. Alright. That's fair.
Now I've just got to come get the trailer, which of course they tucked it all the way back here. Ah, there it is.
I forgot what we're hauling.
Something palletized.
I think they're shingles. Oh my god, I'm watching you back into that. I'm like, the guys in that warehouse would be diving for cover.
Yeah, just about. Does that go around? No. And yeah, the warehouse workers would not be pleased.
I don't think they would be. I think they would just be like, holy fucking shit. This ain't right.
Alright, 27 hours.
27 hours.
Yeah, no.
Here be 1 second, bio break.
Yep, you're good.
Alright. I'm back, and I come over and I look, and I see you're driving at a speed.
I am driving at a speed. I'd stopped
At
to
a
make sure
speed.
that I was going to take the way that you have taken.
All right, I see. Where are you going? All right. Okay, it's steering you the right way. That's fine. All right. I have a truck.
That was his fault. He drove into me.
Uh-huh. Are we about to begin our road trip?
Uh-huh. I'm very close to you now, I think. Well, I'm getting there. You did not see when I did the really, really awesome handbrake turn at the intersection you're parked at.
I saw that when you went by.
Yeah, okay, cool. You know, I did that for your benefit primarily.
I understand. I appreciate it, friend. I do.
Oh yeah, cops exist in this game.
You should be like, cops aren't real. You can just go as fast as you want. The government doesn't want you to know it. But police are not real.
Okay.
We're trucking, boys. Well, you could always call in and be like, I died.
Yeah, calling in on a Friday.
Kind of sus, ain't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just say diabetes made my feet fall off. I have to go get them glued back on. So tell us about the Pittsburgh.
I told you about everything there is to say. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Did you hit something else?
Yeah, the fucking jackknife right there, or the hairpin. I didn't take the correct line, so I bumped the front of that fucking concrete truck, and then they wanted money.
You know, I'm just telling you.
And there happened to be a cop right there, because of course there was, so he also ticketed me for something.
I was doing 100 in the wrong lane. They're the ones who are wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, here I am.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, that's another cop.
Don't worry about it. I don't. All right. Here we go. It's about to start.
Yeah.
The real show.
We're finally convoying. You know, if you hadn't taken this job, we could have just fast traveled somewhere.
Sorry. I drive the way I drive. Alright, it's 1,600 miles.
Nah, double yellow's good for crossing. So single yellow. And, you know, any number of dashed variations. Do the rules not apply? Only certain rules are enforced in this game, because to do a proper to make a proper, you know, following of U.S. traffic law would require one, individual laws for each state, which are slightly different.
Which would be miserable.
It would be absolutely miserable. And two,
Yeah, you can't idle this for more than 5 minutes.
Is every cop in Idaho on this road? That's the 5th one.
Next cop I'm hitting. I don't care.
Yeah, and then also it would be very difficult to make exceptions for things like, you know, wide turns and other things that need to happen to let the truck do what it do.
Are we going up or down in altitude?
I don't know. I think we're going down slightly.
Then isn't the water going the wrong way?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I just look over and I see the brakes. Ah, I almost had him. Man, that guy gets to go home to his family tonight and enjoy some fish sticks. That son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
You know, Sir Shaggy, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking about hitting that RV back there and just punch it over the cliff because there's no guardrail.
Yeah. Well,
I think
there's
about
an
that a
invisible
lot.
wall, I'm sure.
You know, have you ever stood in line at the bank and thought that you could just, like, claw hammer the back of someone's head in and most people wouldn't care?
I think they would care in the moment.
Because I had to go.
Like greater
I had to go to the bank earlier this week, and there was somebody in front of me in the bank who was just trying to do the most weird thing. Like, they were saying that they didn't like the design on their checks, and that the older version of the design on their checks had like a car that was like profiled from the sides, but they ordered the same checks, and now the car is profiled like in an isometric way, and they really didn't like that because, you know, they use these checks for business. And so, and I just sat there and I said, I want to know how little you do for a living.
That
I really
matters to your business.
That critically matters to your happiness. You know what I mean? Because, like, okay, let's say you order a steak, right, at a restaurant, and you order it on 2 different days, and you order the same thing because you had a good steak the first time, and the second time the steak comes out and it's slightly smaller or a different cut, but it's cooked the same way, it's still good. Are you mad? Do you send it back? It's still functionally the same steak. Hold on, I gotta pull in here and have a quick, like, bump. But this person was just sitting there doing that, and I was like, man, if I had a claw hammer, I'd just...
You know, what I think about is, I watched a video by a guy named Noah Caldwell-Gervais. Really well done little video essay. Good long form content. You know, I'll play it when I'm... What the fuck did I hit?
I never know what you hit.
I hit the ground.
Don't do that. Hey, what's the thing for wipers?
Let me sleep. P for wiper.
Oh, P for piss and rain. That's right.
Yeah, they'll hit you with a fine for that. Anyway, so he was talking about Diablo in the video that I was watching. And it started off as a love letter to old Blizzard and Diablo and StarCraft to an extent. And then by the time it got to the new games, he was talking about trends in casino and betting, and how they make addicts intentionally in that industry, and how that relates to, you know, press button, get good endorphins as a video game mechanic, which was slightly uncomfortable because it's true.
Oh no, it's very true. I mean, think about it in shooter games. Games that are really frustrating, and there's that little satisfying, like, sound when you hit somebody. And you're like, ooh, yeah, and you keep playing this game that is otherwise incredibly frustrating.
Yep. Yeah, and he brought up specifically a study in which one of the researchers was like, you know, we do these studies, and we're like, oh yeah, rats prefer heroin water 99% of the time, but the rats are stuck in a fucking, like, 2x2 box. What happens if we put them in a environment that gives them other stimulus? And it turns out that if you put them in, like, a playground for rats, they reject the heroin water no matter how sweet you make it.
Interesting.
Yeah, which when applied to that same thing we were just talking about with why do video games make me feel good when I feel bad, and why does feel good sound make me feel good? Uh, yeah.
Well, it's like there's games I go back to because they're infinitely enjoyable and infinitely replayable, right? And it's stuff like, Space Station.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I like playing Parkitect a lot. I think that's a fun game. And it's a good game. Like, I don't have to beat it. I don't have to win it. I don't have to win the scenario. I just enjoy hanging out with my friends and doing stupid stuff. And then you find people, like I did a 3-part podcast where we were talking about the dangers of MMOs, and I can tell when someone is like massively critically depressed because I'll look over and I'll see they're playing like Final Fantasy 14 for 12 hours a day.
Yep.
Right? Now, I'm sure that game is good in bursts or what have you, but it's not like 12 or 14 hours a day good. And I see people who just lose like years of their life doing that, and you just go like, wow, you've not really had a lot of outside time doing new things or different things. And I find the same thing is true of like, hold on, I just hit this. Good God, my brakes suck today.
Probably
but I find
something to do with all the rain.
I don't believe in rain. So one of the things that I've noticed when it comes down to like games, like especially games that are good, you can put them down and come back anytime. You don't feel like you need to finish something or get the next level or achieve a thing. You can just walk away from it. There's no impetus or cause or requirement to do any of these things. You can just walk away from it. It's simple as. And I think that's really important in a good game. Like in a good game, you can walk away from it and it doesn't make you feel that you've lost time or you're falling behind or whatever else. You're just like, I play it when I play it. And that's like one of my yardsticks of a good game. Is something you can come back to after a year and still enjoy it. You don't feel like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing or what have you. Something you can approach, restart, and still enjoy. There's not that sense of, I've lost time.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of games these days are specifically weaponizing that against the player because they're not a player anymore, they're a customer.
Well, and that's the difference between games made by game designers and games made by a company.
Well, yeah, 100%. It's something like, well, you finally did get a cop, didn't you?
I didn't get fined for it.
It's wonderful. Got fined. For the red
I
light.
handled it.
The guy's unconscious in the front seat from that collision, but he wrote me a ticket.
Yep. Well, they're gonna give his wife a folded flag in his ticket book.
My ticket book has a Blue's Clues sticker on it.
Have you... Okay. What is the least I can speed that you would consider pulling me over?
I stop at 10, I ticket at 15.
Have you ever wanted to pull someone over who was just like doing like 2?
Oh, yeah.
2 over?
Yeah, no. No, not 2 over, but 2 miles an hour? Yeah, we're going to have a discussion.
Why? I'm obeying the law. I'm not driving fast.
Well, so that rather than speed limit would be a stop under hazard and navigation.
I'm hypermiling. There's
I've
that number on my dashboard that goes up.
Yeah, I've actually worked an accident that was a lady doing like 3 or 4 miles an hour because she was scared of deer. And a motorcycle came over the hilltop that she was practically stopped on top of, and it didn't end well.
I can imagine. Oh, oops. Alright, I hit something. God, I am fucking this truck up.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, TF2. I'm not joking. Night Owl, my ticket book has a Blue's Clues like paw print sticker on it. Because I got those when I had a trainee who had difficulty sometimes with the bigger picture. we'd be investigating a burglary or something, and they'd be focused on this one like foot area where they're like, oh, there's got to be a fingerprint in here. And it's like the bathroom door and the burglary happened in the car in the garage.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't... Holy shit, there's fireworks for sale. That sign says there's fireworks.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, man, we need to get some.
So, yeah, I got the Blue's Clues stickers, so I could be like, I think that's a clue.
Those two places said fireworks. And then the next one said steak night. What if it was the same building? Like, they were like, we got steaks and fireworks.
What if they cooked the fireworks, or cooked the steaks with the fireworks?
I think that would be a very...
How many candles would it take to cook a steak?
That would be a very loud and smoky steakhouse.
Oh, you mean like...
Oh, you got... You ordered yourself the black cat sirloin. They wrap the sirloin in like 12,000 black cats, and it proceeds to explode for the next 30 minutes.
Yep. There's just fireballs coming out of the window into the kitchen because the Roman candle got pointed the wrong way occasionally.
The guy who works in the kitchen looks like a stoker from the Titanic. He's got goggle print around his eyes. Just solid ebon black from soot. I don't like that you're faster than me.
It's because you've collided with several things.
How dare you?
Yeah, the Steam skin market. There's tons of games that have begun to really lean into the predatory game model because games as a service has become a thing, and don't remind me, I've slowed down.
I don't slow down because we're going to butt.
Yeah, we're gonna touch the butt.
We're going to butt. Oh look, by Idaho Falls, there's Dylan, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck?
Boy. What?
That fucking Prius didn't even stop. It just ran itself up the side of my fucking truck like a drunk using the guardrail.
Wait, what lane's he in?
He's in the middle lane.
He's in the middle lane, huh?
Yeah.
Justice! Alright,
He
well
stopped that
done.
time.
Goddamn straight. Alright, that's called
do we need
teamwork.
service?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay.
Yeah, we handled it. That's teamwork.
I've been playing Helldivers 2 and Tarkov PV or SPT. Yeah.
You know, I like Helldivers because you can go in and play your bit and then leave. No big deal.
I haven't touched it since the PlayStation fiasco, not because, it's like, "Argh," but because anytime any group of people is playing it, it immediately fills up. And
It's
some
not only
people
that.
like, nah, let's do Helldivers. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then, the room's full.
They did a good job with the sound effects. Everything sounds the way it should. And I know
Everything
people are
sounds
like...
good. Everything, the movement, if you think about it, the movement in that game is lifted almost straight from Metal Gear Solid 5.
The other thing...
mechanic.
Well, the other thing I noticed is that, after the PlayStation fiasco, there's been a few more fiascos where people are just loving to dump on it now. They're like, I hate that they did this one thing. And I'm like, it's a cheap game. It's a small studio. I mean, every time you've complained, they've listened.
Yeah, they've been very responsive to reception. And they were on Helldivers 1, too. I adored Helldivers 1. Fantastic game.
I just think it's like small studios have more heart, and they're like, well, what don't you like about this? And then they work on it. Yeah. Whereas if you go to a big studio, you're like, hey, why is half the game a casino? And they're like, don't you have phones? Someone already clipped it. Truck 1, Prius 0. Share that around the aux. Show people what they're missing. Yeah, that's teamwork.
Yeah, he
That is
stopped
teamwork.
That time.
Goddamn straight. Goddamn straight. But no, I like when it comes down to video games. I think the best ones, the ones that you can just keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a big fan of Dwarf Fortress. I played Dwarf Fortress since like 2008, and I still don't know how to do all this stuff. And that's fine because I seldom get far enough to actually do all the stuff. Because I'll be like, well, there's elves, I have to go to war with them, and then 3 years later I'm like, I dug too greedily and deep trying to build weapons to kill the elves or something. This guy keeps hitting me. Alright, I already got fined, bitch. We're doing this. I'm committing. Kalima! Remember that movie, The Duel?
No.
Oh. Well, actually, it's just Duel.
Oh.
What a Spielberg...
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Here, let me slow him down for you.
Oh, hell yes. You hit him and then I hit him. That was majestic. We Top Gunned that thing. Alright, let's do this. This road is ours.
As long as there's no bridges or guardrails.
We should be fine.
Yeah, on a mountain road, why would there ever be a guardrail?
You don't need guardrails on a mountain road. You just have to put a sign there. Oh, there's a guardrail. There's a guardrail up here.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Just wanted to call that out before
we're sharing a lane.
Ah. Oh!
Oh, wow.
Sorry. They went in the air a bit.
He did a pirouette, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's called a bumper. That's what it's for.
BeamNG physics in this game would be a hell of an improvement. You roll into the service center and you're like, this didn't start as a cab over.
You roll into the service center, dragging half the vehicle, and the trailer has no axles.
Yeah.
It's just sparks.
I paid for the whole bumper. By God, I'm gonna use the whole bumper.
Goddamn straight. Oh yeah, Doctor somehow ragdoll.
Top rope with a double trailer.
Hell yeah, Doctor somehow says flat out ragdolls in this. That would be great. You just see your body like. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, guy on Broadway. You posted just as soon as he said it. Is this American Truck Racing now? Oh God, what was that game? Big Mother Truckers or whatever it was?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I never played it. I saw commercials for it.
So Wildine asks, Sweden and Warno opinions. Okay, so Cold War Sweden had a lot of interesting stuff, but Warno is mostly set in Germany.
Yeah, Warno's starting to get some creep.
A little bit, but not too much, because the creep it's stuff that would still be in that theater on the periphery. So, like, the 35th came out. That's a Reforger unit. That would be reasonable. There's that Baltic Coast unit that is in for the Germans as a German-Polish unit because NATO would try to steal that port, like, near instantly or blockade it. So that makes sense. They've announced some other stuff that would be crap that would come in, like, 2 or 3 weeks after, initial whatever. So, best-case scenario stuff. Like, hold on. Never mind. I handled it.
Yeah, here. One.
Yeah. And I think that it's all reasonable. Sweden would be interesting. I think, they're going to have to put Denmark in it, but Sweden was, neutral at the time. But they would be interesting. A lot of their equipment was varied and interesting. A lot of domestic production. Not really a big military. I mean, you'd end up with a small mobilized corps and then a crap ton of home guard guys, like, showing up in city buses.
With M1 Garens and K98s.
Yep. Alright, I'm at 55% damage because I ran over some stuff. That's
no.
oh. All right, 56% damage. Hi. I'm having some trouble starting it. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna drive off and pretend this didn't happen.
1% damage to load now.
Ah,
So that's gonna be like 10 grand off our delivery price.
I got like 30% damage to my load.
Oh yeah, that's. You may not make any money, Tex.
It's all right. I'm only 71 grand in the hole.
Yeah, it turns out you can actually. I think it's 50% damage to the load. You just don't make any money. Like it's the scene from Blues Brothers. Well, we pay you $100 for the night, and you drink $300 in beer.
Yeah, I'm just sad now. I was on a roll. It was straight to hell, but I was on a roll.
So Tex, Dep, see that new game from Dep Truck Developers? It's Road Construction Simulator.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I kind of want to play that because fixing the roads would be nice.
Fixing the roads in SnowRunner is something I'd asked for a long time.
That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, they give you these highway trucks in that game that are
And you can never use
good
them
for high speed on paved surface, and they never give you that surface. The gameplay loop of go through, fix all the bridges, clear all the roads, and then use your high-speed trucks to quickly deliver cargo would be an enjoyable.
Yeah, there's phases of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I have not played Expeditions. I've heard mixed things on it. On the surface, it's the part of the game that exists now that I like the most, which is scouting, running around a little Tuz 166, looking at stuff.
Oh man, I'm having trouble accelerating. It's like my truck is totaled.
Do I need to slow down for you?
No, it's fine. I'll just cry. Somebody had to help themselves to extra road.
I was on the shoulder and you pushed me into the guardrail.
I'm sure that happened. You were on the shoulder. I am not at fault. Okay.
I'm
Now-
not sure how much less road I can use than off the road entirely, technically.
I was on the shoulder, officer. The fault is not
Why are the
mine.
wipers on so I don't get a ticket when it does start raining?
I just put on the safety squints when it starts raining.
They'll ticket you for that
Why?
because they're dicks. I think there's service up ahead. No. Yes, maybe.
I'm in, as they say, the debt.
No, there's no service up ahead.
It's all right, my truck just-
which is out of the way.
It's alright. I'm just trying to restart my truck while it's rolling at 60.
Yeah, if you can, man, that's what the manual cruise control is great for, because it'll automatically try to restart the truck, because it doesn't think you ever took your foot off the accelerator.
That's amazing. Wow, this city over here on the right looks like something I did in Soviet Soviet city sim.
Yeah,
Just
it's
gas
pretty
plants.
depressing.
It is. I'm doing 69. Nice.
Nice. Ba, 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 ba.
Ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun.
You finished that for me, and I got trailer damage 12% for taking out the little plastic stick things in the intersection.
What? Why?
You know, those don't actually do very much damage. Like, they'll break plastic bumpers and stuff, but they're meant to give way. That's why half of them are folded over by drunks and trucks that can't keep the road.
I used to live in a neighborhood that had like it had a pair of stone little guardians, like at the front of the road. And every year, the same guy, drunk driving, would knock it, like destroy one, right? He would just destroy one, and you would see a trail of like antifreeze and oil trailing off to where he lived. And he never got a ticket. Like, he never got a ticket, and it was always the same guy. Like, no cops ever came by and like put two and two together. So one year the community opted, instead of doing like just taking the stone and gluing it together with cement, they made two cement pylons and then adhered stone to it.
Yes.
Right? So the next year I went down that same road because I had to drop my sister off at the school bus, and I look over and there is a truck wrapped around it, and there is a guy inside that truck just sleeping.
Yep.
No one ever ticketed him.
I find that kind of stuff fairly often in my job. Either crashes that happened way out in the country and the guy wandered off. God, okay, so here's a story, a cop story for everyone. Are you still with me?
No. I've slowly fallen behind like a wounded bomber.
Alright, I can stop.
Trailer damage 62%.
Good God, what did you do to that trailer?
I don't know. It's like an 18-wheeler hit it. Like an 18-wheeler hit it.
I did not do any such thing.
As I limp up the road, I'm doing 30. The thing is blaring at me. Please call truck care.
Well, I think our next service station is going to be Casper, Wyoming, or Riverton. And Riverton is slightly off our path.
I'm gonna keep going.
You're gonna keep going. You're gonna push it.
You gotta soldier on.
You gotta know when to fold them.
You gotta know when to fold them. Know when to fold away. Know when to fold. You gotta fold your money. When folding at the table, there's time enough for folding when the folding is done. It's a song about giving up. My granddad used to say that, like, when someone was a quitter, he would say that boy's got a lot of quit in him. I don't know why, but old insults just cut more.
They do.
Alright, you can stop at the
Northern
station.
lights are localized entirely in that section of the sky.
The Aurora Borealis, at this time of year, in this part of the country, localized entirely outside of Riverton, Wyoming.
I want to inspect my load, Mr. Tex.
I refused, because I knew the fine for passing by it would be less than the fine for massive amounts of damage. I did what we call a calculated risk. Alright. I'm low on fuel, and I'm low on truck.
I'm low on sleep and fuel.
Oh, red light violation. Oh no, you hit a few cars. God, these people are whiners. All they do is complain.
Yeah, it's strange that. Wow, all these cars that are slowly unworking themselves from whatever bind they're in.
Something happened back there. It was a ghost. It was the ghost of Casper.
Casper, Wyoming.
Home of ghosts. So, alright, you're telling me that there is a Pittsburgh in Kansas, and they have a school, and its mascot is an ape.
Yes.
Is it like a Planet of the Apes ape, or like an actual gorilla?
No, like an actual gorilla. Their colors are like a pinkish red and a yellow truck yellow.
Huh. That helps me out a lot.
Yeah, I know, but I'm describing for chat.
I know. I'm just giving you shit. So they have a loud ape.
Uh-huh.
Why?
And their mascot is like the cheapest Party City looking ape costume.
All right. What else they got?
There's a McDonald's right off the
Oh.
highway in
Oh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got Happy French Fry style Chinese buffet that's got like burgers and French fries and chicken nuggets on the buffet,
Uh-huh.
along with the American Chinese staples you'd expect.
All right. Chat, pull up Pittsburgh,
And
Kansas.
it's got a methamphetamine problem.
I figured it's Kansas. Go ahead and pull up Pittsburgh, Kansas, and let's see what fun things we can discover. I challenge chat to find fun things. Let's explore America.
Okay, so yeah, we on the topic of your drunk that center posted the poll. One night we get a call from Union Pacific that there's a car on the tracks, and
Yeah.
we get there and yeah, it's a pickup truck, just absolutely completely totaled. Had been in a collision with a guardrail and then a tree like a mile down the road, and went until the engine got hot enough it stopped running. Nope. Abandoned, nobody near it. So we work the accident. We try to call the registered owner. He doesn't answer. It's like 2 in the morning on a Friday, Saturday actually now. So we suspect drunk driving. Fairly common to find out in rural parts of this country. We, while we're working this accident, get a call that there's a burglary alarm going off at one of the major businesses in the area. Giant industrial concern kind of thing. And it's in their new administrative building, and the security guard on duty doesn't have keys to that building because the only one who has keys for it, is the security supervisor, and he can't get a hold of his security supervisor.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So we go, and finally he's able to get a master key off like the general manager for the entire site.
All right. So 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. Chad has been exploring Pittsburgh, Kansas, and they said they found Jake's Fireworks, which is across the street from an elementary school.
That tracks.
So, the keys.
Yeah, so we start searching the building to figure out why the burglary alarm's going off, because it's interior alarms, but there's no broken windows, all doors were locked.
Right.
I go into a conference room, and you check closets, you check under tables, you check anywhere that somebody could be hiding. And I open the door to this closet in this conference room, and I see the corner of a t-shirt like sticking out, like of the sleeve. And I go, "Who's in there?" And whoever's standing in there goes, "Nobody."
What?
So
You can't...
Yeah, so I call him out, and it's the security supervisor. He's still wearing his uniform. He'd apparently gotten plastered at work, left the job site, crashed his truck, left it on the railroad tracks, walked back to work, and let himself into the administrative building. And then hid when the cops showed up.
Nobody.
Yeah, who's in here? Nobody.
I can't believe someone tried that. One of my favorites.
The columbarium.
What?
It's sort of zoo-like.
Wait, what?
The columbarium.
The columbarium? That sounds like something I would make up. Welcome to the columbarium! Like, what?
I'm sure, sadly, he's kept his job. I don't actually know about that. I would have to check. But it's entirely possible. Tried to find Pittsburgh, Florida man news or funny arrests, but all I get is public masturbation reports. I'm scared of Pittsburgh, Kansas.
This sounds amazing. $62,000 in the hole.
I've got 11 grand. I started with 35, so I'm doing okay.
I've had a few accidents.
You have, and you haven't even repaired the damage from those accidents.
I ain't made of money. I ain't made of money at all.
You know, I do think that it has been enlightening for people to have me follow you in this game. This time.
Why? Why?
Because they were blaming everything on me.
I'm not the worst driver.
I didn't say you were. I suspect that when I'm, in the zone, I'm probably the worst driver. I'm certainly the riskier driver.
I don't know, man. One time, I was just driving on the opposite side of the road because I found Frogger more interesting.
Yeah, and you're willing to pay the $200 every 10-second fine?
Yeah.
Bullying the state trooper off the road, huh?
Well, he was in my way. And it's Wyoming. What's he gonna do? Call another cop? He'd have to wait for 4 hours.
You're not wrong. Out here between cities? Oh, we're on the
Yeah.
Shoshone Reservation.
Is this Wind River? Wait, no, that's the Wind River Reservation.
Yeah, that's Wind River, but I'm trying to remember what tribe Wind River is. Fantastic movie if you guys haven't seen it.
I have.
Depressing movie, but fantastic.
You know what is a terrible movie?
What?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, did you finally watch it?
I watched it while on a plane.
Okay,
And I said,
that
it's
would've
got
been
a-
good plane movie.
It is not a good plane movie. It is not a good plane movie. I realized you could remove every other frame from the film and it would be the same.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what we talked about. I don't remember if we talked about it in here or on the podcast. But
Terrible movie.
There's large portions of that film that you could just excise completely. They needed an editor who wasn't starstruck by the name of the director. And was
The
willing
issue
to
was is I can tell that there are whole parts of that movie that are just improv.
Yeah.
You know? And there's so many scenes where I just clap my hands in front of me because I'm a director. And I just clap my hands in front of me and I'm like, and scene. Like, end it.
And
Like,
it
just
keeps
end it.
Going.
It just keeps going.
My favorite is the 10
Ugh.
minutes they spend where they're filling in the Bureau of Investigation agent in a cornfield that's on fire, and it keeps swapping over to these loving pictures of, the crews fighting this wildfire. And they're like, yep, he's a bad man. As if we haven't watched 2.5 hours of him being an unscrupulous person. Like, we know this.
Yeah,
stuff.
they catch the audience up because you have to realize Scorsese's really old. So he's like, in case someone was taking a nap, they catch everyone up to the plot that you've just been watching slowly unfold. And you're like, yeah, I get that. They have a character who he just really regurgitates the whole plot up to that point to a new character.
I left the movie at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark and went and walked around the theater because both of my legs had been cramping for 15 minutes, and I realized that we were not anywhere close to the conclusion.
My favorite part, spoilers by the way, my favorite part is when Marty just goes movie over.
I need to sleep here.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, the conclusion of the film is fucking crazy. Because he's like, and I ran out of money or time or give a shit, so here, we'll finish it like a radio play.
He finishes it like a radio play where he just comes out and
wall here.
Yeah, there's a ditch. There's a ditch. Alright, yeah, we'll go in there.
You should find a parking place to rent.
This is a parking place, but no, he literally just goes like movie over. Like he just it rips you out of the film. that he has spent 3 hours laying the foundation for a conclusion, and I figure, okay, maybe the conclusion's going to be really sharp and really good.
Yeah, and just like cut it off suddenly. You know, we've spent. You can't say that movie doesn't immerse you.
No, it's
Because it goes
dripping.
over every agonizing detail.
It's dripping in immersion. It's where I'm like, too much. I'm drowning in the immersion. And then it just ends it with Marty tired, movie over.
Yeah. God, it was such a weird movie to see in the theater.
I saw it on a plane on a small screen, and I was like, thank God this screen is small, otherwise I'd throw stuff at it.
Well, and the
'Cause
sound mix in the theater was not fantastic.
I remember that I went to go see. I forget. God, I actually forget the movie, but it was a drama. It was a quieter movie, and it was in a shitty theater. So the next theater over was an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this quiet, dramatic thing, all you could hear was like machine guns and explosions through the wall. And I was like, "That's cool." 64% damage. I hit a cop.
Yeah, I saw Napoleon in the theater. That was.
You mean Josephine the movie?
Well, it's not even focused enough on her to be. I don't know what that movie focused on.
It felt like a high school play. It felt like a high school play written by somebody who has like a very bad short-term memory.
It felt like a second draft of a movie that's going to go through 10 writers.
It felt odd because like the opening parts were good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this movie's going to take off. And then it just said, hey, you know that guy who like brought Europe to its knees? What if he was like
over that part?
We're going to gloss over all that. We're going to show that like how he and his wife were like kind of having a fight and stuff. And I'm like, all right, but what about, you know, like the sale of the Louisiana territories because he had to? Or what about, you know, any of his conquests? Show him doing any of these things. And it's just like, imagine if you had a friend who was really bad at picking interesting stuff to talk about, and then you let him make a movie. It is the least interesting parts of Napoleon's life, aside from like a battle. I mean, Waterloo is literally like, what, 3 minutes?
If that.
If that.
Austerlitz is like a 45-second scene. God, yeah. The entire invasion of Egypt is just that scene with the cannonball.
Yeah.
Taking off the top of the pyramid, which never happened.
Yeah. And there's just little parts in the movie where you're like, where is this going? This could be interesting. And then they take it away.
Somebody said the trailer was cut by good Ridley Scott, you know, the director of the old Alien films, and the film itself was filmed by the director of Prometheus.
I like that take.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
accurate.
take. Now, I heard the new Alien Romulus is actually really good. I haven't seen it yet.
Things about it.
Okay, I'm gonna cut across this way and get some repairs and some fuel, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I'm
no,
about to run out of fuel, so I'm following you.
But no, I heard the new Romulus is good, and what I found out from my friend who's a huge fan of Alien, the whole setting, everything, he said that the reason it's so good is because the guy who wrote it literally spent like 100 hours on Xenopedia, the Alien wiki, and just crawled the wiki for like 100 hours while writing the movie.
Okay, that'll do it.
So the fans helped the movie be good.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great. That's what I want to read.
Is there any gas here?
I don't think there is. I'm going to have gas delivered. I wonder if they fix trailers. As I deliver these, oh god. This is a collision-free zone, trailer damage.
Yeah.
You lied to me.
Well, it's collision-free between you and me.
Oh. I see how it is. These shingles are just exploded dust right now. Oh man, let's see, service. Oh my god. $73,000. I am now $138,000 in the hole.
Good God.
I think I've reached critical mass when it comes down to debt.
Have you paid off any of your loans yet?
I paid off one of them. Then I took out a bunch more to hire more drivers.
To pay off more?
I've embraced the American way.
Sleep over here? Or is this is a showroom?
You just show up and you're like, I'm a bum now.
Okay, so the sleepy spots appear to be over here.
Okay, if we go down the road, there's a gas station.
Okay, just
if we go down the road, there's a gas station.
Right here, sleeping.
I don't need to.
I need to. And you will need to here in a second.
Is that a threat?
It's a promise.
You're like, you will need to. You promise.
Deficit spending? Tex? Tex is now just hauling his obligations to the financial institution.
Shut up. It's not nice. I'm sad.
Well, what do you mean go down the road here? Do you mean take a right?
Yeah. Just no, to the left.
Okay.
I'm
now, y'all. One step this time. Well, sorry.
and then turn right at that. Like, get back on the route, and it'll take us by a gas station. Yeah, I am riding the pegs. This is just fumes.
We'll meet you down at the gas station. I gotta hook back up to my trailer.
That's insane.
What?
That's insane. Just leave it in the middle of the road. Be like, I'll be back. I love you.
That's like those parents that, have, the little swaddler out in the yard for the baby.
Thank God I have some really good drivers. Because they just, back to back, they just made me, back to back, they both just made me like 30 grand. So I'm now back to 57 in the hole. Hell yeah.
16 tons, and what does he get?
Shut up. I'm an emerging business.
Another day older and deeper in debt.
I am another day older. Monday was my birthday. I turned 40.
Yes, you did.
I turned 40 years old. 40.
Big 40. They say like 40 to 44 is the period where you age fastest.
That's terrible. Why would you say that?
I just made that up.
That's horrible. Like, I age like milk. I have not aged well. You don't sound like this if everything went well. No, I'm telling you this much. Like, my grandma, who is just ancient old Jewish lady, just fucking hilarious, because she is largely forgotten who I am. She is ancient. But occasionally she has moments of lucidity. I called her on my birthday. She picked up and remembered me. That was my best birthday present.
That's fucking awesome, man.
You know what she said to me, though? Because she was always shit posting. Like, always.
Okay.
You know what she said? She goes, I was like, I turned 40, Grandma. And she goes, the first 100 years are the hardest. I was like, what? She goes, after that, you got it made.
Oh.
I was like, this is the lady that made a clown at a parade wipe out and break his nose.
Oh, fuck me.
Did I ever tell that story?
No, but I went past the turn off for fuel.
Alright, so
there
is. So here's what she did. There was a parade
Okay.
in town, And at this parade in town, there was a clown on a unicycle, and he was riding around like back and forth in front of the parade, and he was like honking his horn in people's faces, like being kind of a dick, and would cause people to like jump back. And that was his clown gimmick, you know, just being a dick. And he just kept honking his horn in people's faces, then skirting around on the unicycle and honking his horn in people's faces. My grandma yelled out to him, goes, "Mister, you got a flat tire!" And he looked down and ate shit. And she said that there was like an outline of a clown face on the concrete.
I believe that.
And I lost my shit when I heard that. Said the clown like stumbled off and was like obviously having balance problems.
Good God.
I was like, Grandma's awesome. She used to tell me the story about when she first got a job, like the first job she ever got, was working. I won't. First job she ever got was working in a cannery in the Great Depression during the Dust Bowl. You know, well, she said it was the first job that paid money. She'd worked on the farm before that. Yeah. But she worked at a cannery, and she said with her first paycheck, she bought a pint of black walnut ice cream because she'd never been able to afford like more than like a scoop of it. Mm-hmm. And she said she ate the whole thing and then puked all night. And she was like, "That's how I knew sinning was wrong."
Yeah, the 11th commandment.
She was great.
Black walnut ice cream and wine.
She told me so many, like, her stories about, like, recollections of major events of the 20th century. Mm-hmm. Like, I asked her, like, do you remember when, you know, like, Kennedy was assassinated? And she goes, "Oh, they shot that poor man to death." Like, that was her summation of it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, remember when they walked on the moon? And she goes, "Why'd they go that far? That's too far." I was like, "To explore space." And she goes, "Why couldn't they just go down the street and come back?" I was like, "Because they built a rocket." God damn it.
I've been rewatching For All Mankind.
It's a good show.
Well,
Kind of jumps the shark a little bit in later bits, but I mean, it's all right though. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's a good show. Yeah, no, Grandma Tex is fucking hilarious because she had a Walther PP. Like, all right, look, when they finally said you can't drive anymore, they took her purse and they opened it and they found like 800, you know, kinds of candy in a bag. And some of this candy had been discontinued like since the 70s. But she kept it and it was fresh somehow. She had all sorts of trinkets and odds and ends, but she had a Walther PPK in her purse that was loaded, and nobody knew where she got it. And they were like, "Why do you have this Walther PPK in your purse?" And she goes, "Well, it was a good price."
Oh, God.
She said she bought it for $80.
It's a really good price.
At some point...
Suspiciously good price.
Yeah, we were like, "Where did you buy it?" And she said, "At a pawn shop." And we were like, "Where?" Like, when? And she's like, "Oh, back when people were doing that disco dancing."
Oh, God.
So some point in, like, the 70s or 80s, she bought a gun and was like, "This goes in my purse." She was pretty hilarious because she used to knit in front of the TV and put the TV on, and she would say stuff like, "Things ain't been the same since the Three Stooges got off the air." I was like, I think they were last on the air in the 50s.
Yeah. And I think that wasn't Mo the only one still with the act at that point?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. And then she was like, "What?"
Larry had died and Curly, you know, been replaced 8 times.
What was funny is she said, "Whatever happened to that Walter Cronkite?"
Oh, God.
I was like, well, they took him off the air like when he was really old, and then he was on the History Channel some. She was hilarious. She refused to get rid of her 1978 station wagon with the wood paneling until 2003.
My great grandpa was a Buick man. After he came back from the war, he never bought a car that wasn't a Buick. He finally decided his favorite Buick was a 1984. It was that weird, like, RoboCop steel blue color. From the first movie, not from the ones where Peter Weller's not RoboCop anymore. So
Yeah.
when he passed in 2012, the car had 41,000 miles on it.
Wow, barely drove it.
And externally, visually, it was immaculate. The underneath was so rotted it was unsafe to drive because it was a Nebraska car.
God.
Salt roads, they're a bitch, man. Yeah, God, it's like driving a couch around now.
No, she had a Westinghouse waffle iron, right? This thing was the biggest fucking thing in the world, and like the lights would dim when you plugged it in, and it was like an audible hum. Like you could taste ozone. That fucker would make waffles in about 12 seconds.
I believe that.
It was just like, and they're done. I don't know what evil technology Westinghouse used to use other than 220 volt or whatever, but it was no light like your waffles are ready. There was no warning.
Yeah.
It was just, and done. You better be ready for fucking waffles. It was just like, it was the 50s. Nobody cared back then.
Well, the fucking wires back then were more resistant than they really should have been. So that probably had to pump a bunch of amperage down that.
It was a great waffle iron, and yeah, Chet, you're right. You knew they were done when you smelled them. You're like, oh, they're burning.
Yep. So I've got a lot of experience with field phones, right? And we got our hands on a bunch of cheap Soviet and Eastern Bloc field phones.
Yeah.
You okay up there?
Yep, I'm slowly getting around vehicle.
Oh, okay. So we would, they're on the same voltage nominally, so we'd run them with our American field phones all the time.
Right.
And we realized that anytime a Soviet field phone called an American one, it tried to beat the ringer on that American field phone to death, and we could never figure out why. Because it sounded like it was trying to beat the bell off that phone. And after a while, we realized we're using American field phone wire, which is really conductive. It's copper. The Soviets use steel.
I see. Right.
So, yeah, those Soviet phones were pushing like 50 amps down that wire.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we gave some people a jolt when they tried to cut the wire, and there happened to be something going on it.
One of my favorite things I saw, like, I was at a friend's house, and he was cleaning out his garage, and when you're cleaning out your garage, you just got piles of shit everywhere. And he was one of those people that just bought stuff, and then he had a lot of extra space, so people would bring him things and just say, hey, can I store this here? And he lived not far from a military base, so people would drop stuff off and then forget about it. So he had this giant woofer, like sub-bass speaker in the corner. And I said, oh shit, that's a sweet woofer. And he goes, yeah, but I don't have the rest of the system, and it's been sitting in this garage, so it's probably rotted. I said, yeah, all right, well, we'll just throw it in the skip, get rid of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, or we could do a science experiment. So I said, I'm intrigued. Naturally, I'm intrigued because this guy was also an electrician.
Okay.
So what he did was he took his tools out and he split the he's he split the lead to go into, you know, the amp.
Yep.
And he put a plug on it.
Oh no.
And he plugged it into the wall.
Oh god.
I can still hear it. I can still hear it. That thing made all the noise it was going to make very briefly. All at once. It made a whole lifetime worth of noise in like 2 seconds. And as I thought I was going to pass out from the volume, it exploded. And I said, I just saluted it after that, you know, because it had given its life for our entertainment.
Oh, that's
I just gave it a salute. I was just like, good sir.
60 hertz is a fun hum.
Yeah.
Yep, I think your tires are worn enough. I was doing a traffic break so that Tex could catch up.
It's what we do for each other. We're homies like that.
Dep is commanding the road. No pass without getting whacked.
God. But yeah, there's some really wild adventures you can have in old electronics. Did I ever tell you about the cursed Santa?
Yes.
Did I ever? Do you think I ever told Chad about the cursed Santa? I forget.
I think you have at one point, but it's a good story.
I'm not sure if I. You know what? I'll just tell the story again. This is part of getting old. You tell the same stories over and over. All right, cursed Santa. So these people on my street had a Santa Claus, right? And the Santa Claus would sit out. They would take it out at Christmas time, and they put it out on the porch. And this is in Houston, Texas. So they'd put it out on the porch, and when you walked by, the little electronic eye in the Santa detected a person had walked by, and it would start moving its arm back and forth, and it would start shaking its hips back and forth, and its head would turn side to side. And it would sing Christmas songs, you know?
Jingle Bell Rock or whatever.
Yeah, but it was, you know, the jingle bell rock, you know, and just waving and chucking its hips and being all happy, you know?
I thought that was a cop in the median doing a speed trap. No, it's a car that you put there.
It happens. Don't worry about it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I told it on the podcast, so Slithis remembers this. So... yeah, they said they nearly fell off their bike laughing. So, all right. So the Santa Claus is set out there. Now they had gone through like a divorce, and in the messiness of a divorce, certain things aren't tended to, like picking up the Santa out front.
Mm-hmm.
People just, you know, the lawn looked like shit for a while as they're fighting, and no one wants to be in the house, and so Santa set out and got rained on a lot. There's a lot. Houston rains like it's Vietnam. Right, so Santa got rained the shit on a lot. It sat through a few seasons, and then eventually, you know, they put Santa away, and it had rotted in storage, and then they were like, oh, let's put Santa out. Santa has, like, a moldy beard and, like, moldy clothes, and the paint has run. And it looks all fucked up. Santa looks like it's been melted. Santa looks like it's gazed into the warp, right? Its hair just looks horrible and matted, and you plug it in, and you would walk by it, and it would start to move, or try to, you know, and then it would have to overcome the rust, and then it would break free, so you'd hear like the motors whining a bit, and then its arm would start flailing really fast because there was a short, and it would start violently vibrating like, you know, a washing machine that had lost one of its bearings. And then the music would be like, and its head would just start turning around. And it was the greatest thing, because you would hear, like, kids walk up and ring the doorbell because there was a kid there and they wanted to call him to play. And you'd hear Santa ambush him with, like, the singing of Satan, just like, and people just, you hear the kids scream. It was great. I was like, they should sell that.
Sell it as a standalone product.
Yeah, just be like anti-Santa.
Where your factory seconds go on your production line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also had a friend who had, you know, those skeletons, those skeletons that you hang out at Halloween where they go ee, and they just like bob up and down.
Uh-huh.
Well, they had a whole bunch of those like candles and jack-o'-lanterns on their driveway. So it was like a bunch of little like candles leading up their driveway, and they had some skeletons hanging. They're going, ee! And what's funny is one of them fell off while they're doing that and landed on the paper candle and started a huge fire. And we watched it happen, and it looked metal as fuck. This little skeleton goes, ee! And then just like napalms the lawn. It was great.
Very nice. Semi-slalom at 100 miles an hour. I didn't hit nobody neither.
I'm doing 102. All right, posture.
98. That's why you're pulling slightly ahead of me.
Well, in a few minutes, I have to step away and make a phone call. So you could talk to chat and okay, trailer damage 71%. Yep. Oops. Oh, man.
Closest I've had, thanks to the BPL, came when Victor Von Fock referenced the time knife. I was both driving and taking a drink of Dr. Pepper.
Don't do that. That's dangerous. Don't drink and drive.
Go ahead and avoid that collision.
There's just a few.
Now, I got a chance to steal a lot of really fun quotes from Victor Von Fock.
Oh yeah, he's a great character. He was probably not the best police sergeant, but he was definitely the one the city deserved.
Yeah, it's funny retrospectively that everybody's like, you know, Victor Von Fock has a name that's not normal for a Creed even officer. I didn't know that at the time. I just like,
well, it depends on what version of lore, because Games Workshop just wallpapers over stuff, and they go, "It's always been like this," and you're like, "No, it hasn't." There's an era where Kriegers have names, and there's an era where they're all clones and they don't, and it's like, okay, but you know, you can just pick and choose what you want. The problem with constantly revising lore is, I mean, God, look at Star Trek. Even then, though, Star Trek has the decency to say these are different timelines, which is fair. That's fair.
So it's when you go back and you read comments on some of the stuff we put up on Magistratum, a lore around Victor Von Fock has slowly evolved.
I haven't read all of those. Oh no! So people are like trying to figure out like what's his deep lore.
Yep, trying to figure out what battles he would have fought in before, based on the timeline that we've given. Because you know, a lot of people were thinking the Siege of Rax, but that's much later in the timeline where we are. Because we're right at the end of the Macarius Crusade.
Yeah, there's every chance he fought in that.
Yeah.
He's basically the meme of like a Vietnam vet coming back and being a cop, or like L.A. Noire, where you know Phelps comes back from World War II
and tries to hide how fucked up he is.
Yeah, by just going and being a police officer. Like that's fine. It's whatever. Because at that point, I'd say we just encourage it and let people write whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know, whatever makes you happy.
Victor Von Fock beat Worf. FAFO.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy that people like the character and that they said that it was a good portrayal of a Krieger.
Well, there was one guy who wrote me an email and they said,
no traction, please don't hit me, please don't. Oh, fuck you. Jesus
oh no.
Christ.
Oh God, I saw that. Holy shit, that was amazing. Oh, you're not getting that Amazon package back. Oh my god, you bashed him through the terrain. Holy crap. Other vehicles are hitting him now. I'm just stopped. I watched that happen. Holy fuck.
Oh, good
That
God.
was amazing.
I just very suddenly lost traction at 100 miles an hour and crossed the median.
That guy lost his life. Yeah, Quinless. Dep drives away giggling.
Oh, good God. All right, I'm back with you. We can go.
Alright, that's fine. Jesus Christ.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah. That man is in a million pieces. That was amazing. Yeah. Def and text of the reason so many Kickstarter packages are delayed. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I need to step away and make a phone call.
Yeah, you need me to stop?
No. Keep going. I'll catch up.
Okay.
Or you can stop. I don't care.
For convoy. I'll stop. There we go. Yeah, having a damage model for these trucks would make this game more enjoyable. I want to see the results of that, because there's no way my truck looks like this after that collision. Water patrol? Yeah. Well, that is the part of I-80 that trucks like to nap on. Wrong weather, though. Yeah, this is the part of I-80 where, like, 40 cars will have a pile-up, and the state troopers won't know about it for hours, because nobody happens by. Strangest random stop? What do you mean? Yeah, we're a convoy. We started together, we'll end this together. We'll watch this plane very, very slowly creep across the Nebraska sky. Hmm. I don't know. The problem with questions like that is my definition of crazy has shifted very far from where it was before I got into emergency services. I mean, I've been a firefighter, I've been an EMT, I've been a cop. I've been doing this for ages now. Highest person I've ever stopped. I mean, you find people like passed out in the road, heroin and that sort of thing. Quinn list. After such a collision, the trucks would either be bonded up to the driver's cabin or knocked aside with half the engine literally demolished. I've worked many commercial motor vehicle collisions now, and the cabs come off of those alarmingly often. Oh, you mean you expected me to stop in the middle of the road? Yeah. Are they slowing? Yeah, they're slowing down because of me, because I've got my hazards on. That's amusing. Dep, were you one of the guys who found an anhydrous tank buried in the backyard of a meth lab? No, but I have had thefts out of anhydrous tanks, and I've had people who did not um, survive their attempt to steal anhydrous from the bottom of a tank. It turns out it comes out exceptionally cold and it displaces all the oxygen immediately. It also hurts. Anhydrous hurts if you've never been in an anhydrous cloud. The most wholesome stop I've ever had. I mean, I've had. What's your definition of wholesome? I've stopped teenagers who are really scared to have an encounter with law enforcement. And you can tell the problem slowing down because they're afraid of me probably. The problem with being a cop is when you are driving around, unless you pull up next to the vehicle or you wind up next to it at a stoplight, you've got no idea who's in that vehicle. If you want to see what a cop sees of a car when they decide to pull it over, go stand on the side of the road and watch headlights come towards you. If it's dark, that's all you get. And I'm an overnight cop, so that's all I usually have is headlights, taillights, maybe an impression of whether it's 4-door, 2-door, pickup truck, car as it goes by. Wymore is an interesting town. Yes, I've driven through Wymore quite a bit. Um, so we, in that situation, and especially with, I mean, ambush attacks on police are up astronomically. It's more than 100% increase over the last several years. Um, the We have to treat every vehicle as if it's going to be a threat until we know that it is not. Which is why, cops don't walk immediately up to the window, why they're paying attention to who's in the vehicle, that kind of thing. So, it is a difficult job in that aspect because it puts a barrier between you and the people that you're dealing with in that way. And it would be much easier if that barrier could be gone. But regardless of the oath I've sworn, I have a right to try to go home to my family, same as anybody else. Have I ever lied in my capacity as a law enforcement officer? No. I am a firm believer that integrity is the only thing I actually have in this job. As soon as I lose my integrity, then I need to turn in my badge. I've got no reason to be here. The nicest thing a cop ever did for me was when I got pulled over for speeding as a stupid kid. He gave me an administrative ticket for outdated insurance rather than the 65 and a 40 I deserved. Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens fairly often where if somebody's, you don't want to screw people over. Um, I'm a firm believer that they give me on many things the what's the term? They give me the ability to make decisions. They trust me enough that they gave me a badge and a gun, and they said, "You go out there and you do the best that you can." So if I pull over a car and it's clear that this family's struggling and a ticket is going to be life or death for them, it's going to remove food from their mouths, then I may not write that ticket because I've been there. Discretion, thank you. There was a period in my
All
life
right,
where
I'm
I
back.
lived in a Tahoe. So
I come back in on that, Jesus. You're like, well, let me tell you about truck stories. I once lived in one. Remember to
um,
be positive on stream.
so I understand the situation that a lot of people find themselves in. especially in this country in this day and age. And I try not to make that worse by my actions.
Reasonable. My truck keeps breaking down.
Yeah, mine does too. On
It's
the
like we
plus
keep
side,
hitting stuff.
it didn't idle out much gas when it was sitting there because it shut off immediately.
Our trucks are such pieces of shit, they're economical. Oh yeah, my truck has start-stop technology, and boilers just explode. Yeah. So, back to vehicular manslaughter, I agree. And Wildine, you play a cop on Frontier Station? Alright, here's my question. How much trouble has the BPL been causing? Because I know they play over there, and they've kind of acquired a reputation as being wild bastards. Which is fine. I mean, that's the whole point, bringing back shenanigans. I have to know. We arrested only one? Did the rest not allow you to take them alive?
Do we want to try for service or just power through?
We're powering through.
Okay.
I ain't got time for this shit. I also don't have the money.
I need to alt tab out, so watch out. I'm not going to be in control.
What? Why?
There we go. I had to make sure that my chat was up to speed.
I'm terrified
My
now.
last thing I've got is Dr. Somehow back to vehicular manslaughter. I wanted to make sure that's the last thing in chat.
So Wild Yeen says, we had a fucking briefing, we had all hands on deck, we had a death squad ready.
Yeah, see, I'm not getting any of that, so I need to restart my Twitch. I'm tabbing back out. Watch out for me.
Oh my god, I have to speed up.
No, you're
just
fine.
like, oh, hold on, BRB. Yeah, alright. You're crossing over. Okay, you're going into the median. Alright, you're in oncoming traffic. You're in oncoming traffic. You're gonna, and you recovered. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Look, the VPL, wherever they go in Space Station Land, is usually known for good shenanigans. Like, we'll never ruin somebody's round, but we will do something stupid. We'll be like, it's time for Cargo Con. You know? Where we take over and, like, drink the server dry.
Yeah, autopilot. Exactly. 100%.
We call that Big Chicken. Oh, man. See him till I passed him, so I can say I didn't do that. I would have hit him head on had I known he was there. Wow, look at all them donations. All them gift subs. Wow. That's generous. Thank you, guys. By the way, all you weirdos, I recommend you guys check out BPL 14 on the aux. You can find that opt-in. If not, ask an admin of the aux. Say like, hey, where's the opt-in for BPL 14? Because we run it very hot and heavy on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And it's pretty fucking bonkers. We've got a really cool community. We've got really decent support. It's been absolutely hilarious. We even implemented custom code. We have farts. Wait, what do you mean, where did I go?
You took a turn that it's not taking me on.
What?
Yeah. You went south of Lincoln. You're going through, like, Wymore.
But isn't that the right way?
It was taking me further.
I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm coming to find you. Don't mind.
But no, like, the things that are hilarious in Space Station 14 and BPO 14 is, like, our shenanigans have been really solid. And we're a server that really embraces yes and, like, really well. Like, there's a lot of very funny things that happen. A lot of servers have a problem of pushing back. You know, when you start to do something funny, they don't go yes and, they go no. And people don't play along. On BPL 14, it is solid yes and.
Alright, I'm
What?
with you.
I didn't hit anything.
No, what did I hit?
Oh, I can't answer.
There's nothing back there.
Well, one of my favorite things on
You hit a
BPL
cop.
14. No, that's allegedly. Allegedly.
I was doing really good until that massive hit when I lost traction in the rain.
Yeah. We had a great round where we were playing with a crusher. That's going to be airing sometime after the new BattleTech video. But the BPL started the crusher shenanigans in the Space Station 14 community. We just keep using the crusher, which is great. But no, we were playing. we were absolutely playing a few weeks ago, and as cargo, I naturally had everyone stealing all the vending machines, and so security comes in and goes, "Do you have all the vending machines?" And I said, "No." And they go, "Well, where are they?" And I said, "They're in the mall." And they said, "The what?" And I brought them in the back, and I had all the vending machines set up like a shopping mall.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like, "Oh, look at all my stores. It's $15 to get in the mall." It's good time.
Dig the Happy says it's been too long from Space Game. BPL 14 round tomorrow, yeah? Yes.
Yep, Saturday nights.
Hey,
It
Dep,
gets
what's
pretty
the name
crazy.
of this town. Let's see, we're south from Lincoln. So this is going to be Beatrice. Actually, that building is in Beatrice. That one on the right.
Yeah.
I think their fire station is there, but I don't think it's quite that nice. So yeah, we're gonna keep running down. Let's see, this will be 77, I think. The highway we're on right now. A little 2-lane highway. This will take us through Wymore, Nebraska, and then into Marysville, Kansas.
Yeah, didn't you say Marysville did deserve to be in this game?
They're awful small to get included in this game. When they decided that Manhattan and Junction City, or that Manhattan and Lawrence don't exist.
Well, they didn't want to do college campuses.
I guess not, they're only the, 5th and 6th most populous cities in the state after the various Kansas City suburbs and Topeka.
I once went, when I was doing my cross-country exodus, I went through Kansas.
Uh-huh.
And there was a Chinese restaurant in the Capitol. And I said, well, if it's around the Capitol buildings, it's probably okay, because, that's where they do their trade business, is all the regulars from the Capitol building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sit down, and I order my lunch, and I'm sitting there eating my fried rice, just because that's a stable choice. And directly across from me was a guy with no front teeth.
Mm-hmm.
No front teeth. All his back teeth, fine. No front teeth, smoking a cigarette. Now, there was a non-smoking sign, but he didn't seem to mind that too much. He was just smoking a cigarette. And then there was a lady in the corner, sobbing, like ugly crying, eating crab rangoon. Now, I'm not sure if the rangoon was that good or that bad, but that was my dining experience in Kansas's capital.
Yeah, so when I was an EMT in that part of the state, wound up going to the Dillons to get Chinese from their counter once. And there's a guy way up at the front that's just being a complete prick to the worker at the counter. And haven't really been paying attention because I've been talking with my paramedic. And we both stop and we actually look and we realize that this guy's got a swastika that goes from ear to ear on the shaven back of his skull. Or
That's a lot of dedication.
That's pretty dedicated to the cause. And it makes sense why he would be. I bet I can make it.
What happened? Did you in fact not make it?
I made it. Oh god, that was close, but I made it.
Good lord.
Okay, sorry, I'm pretty proud of that. That was smooth. That was real smooth. I lost my chain of thought.
No, it's fine. The guy with the swastika all over the back of his head, and
Oh,
someone's saying
yeah.
they're writing BPL 14 poetry.
Oh,
Yeah, please. I'd love to hear it. Like, DM me. I'll read that shit.
So, we should have been in Marysville there. Yeah, okay. We went through it technically. Couldn't you
Right.
tell? We went through Marysville, Kansas.
No.
They've got a Hardee's there. They're doing really good.
Wow. A Hardee's.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna hit 75, which will run us down through. Let's see. We should have gone through Seneca. Seneca's gone.
Oh,
And
by
then
the way,
we'll hit
Chad, I've hit negative $69,000 in citations. Nice.
Nice. I'm at negative $3 grand.
I maybe went off the road a bit.
I see that. Yeah. Which that ditch is deeper than any I've seen in Kansas so far. We'll then go through Holton as we come south here, and then into Topeka. I don't think they've got Holton on here either. Nice. I always like hearing when racists get their just karma. Oh, yeah. Swastika guy. Yeah, so he's being an asshole, yelling, just generally escalating things.
As they do. As they do.
My paramedic leans down and he, such and such to Topeka. What's the closest TPD unit? Well, they're at the corner because Topeka's got cops everywhere. Oh, I gotta sleep in gas.
I see a car that's on the side of the road. Did you do that?
I did not. At least, not that I noticed.
If I can get $90 in diesel, I can have 69696.
Fuck yeah.
Negative.
Negative?
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hop walks in and decides that he's not going to let this continue and kicks the guy out after he's paid for the Chinese food that he's just berated this man for like 10 minutes about, but before he can get it. Fuck that guy. You want to yell at a teenager? That's what you get. We then went and dealt with a woman who was so intoxicated she was holding on to the pavement in the middle of I-70 to keep from falling off the world.
Oh.
So.
Good old Kansas.
Yeah. Well, there's enough cracks in Kansas pavement that you can get a fingernail into them.
One of my favorite things to do is...
Do you just not sleep in this game? Do you just keep taking
I just power on. I power on. I do the gas station boner pill.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the sleep mechanic in here, but...
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just powering through the every 10 seconds it fines you for not sleeping.
I don't care.
Oh, dude, there's a Do they know about paraglider guy? Is that like a thing that somebody told them, or is that random?
I don't know. Well, who's paraglider guy?
There's a guy in this part of the state that paraglides like to work.
What?
Yeah.
He just to... How is that... Alright, so he just like...
paraglides like all over the fucking northeast corner of the state.
Does he have a DUI? Is the paraglider the scooter of the skies?
I don't know. It's sky crime. I've never been able to stop him, you know?
Alright. So, let's see. Oh, here we go.
No, if it's not like, the thunderstorm that electrocuted Ben fucking Franklin kind of terrible, then that paraglider's in the air. I don't know if
that's
he just
fair.
Doesn't have a day job and that's all he does is paraglides around to like try all the Hardee's in northeast Kansas or what.
That's his thing. He's like, I'm king of the air.
Yeah.
there's a lot, and I do mean a lot of, like, okay, I'm gonna say this much. When it comes down to weird small town places, most places are fine to stop at and rest. But as soon as if you stay longer than a day in any of these little towns, you end up becoming a fixture, and then you belong there. They trap you.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who took a vacation, and he drove all around southern and southwestern Colorado, and then he stayed a week in Pueblo, Colorado, and then he stayed 20 years in Pueblo, Colorado. He got trapped. Like, he's like, oh, I might just stay here a little longer. I might just stay here a little longer. And then he got a job, and then got an apartment, and then bought a house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Saw semi on its side earlier today. Yeah, taking a nap.
Yeah. It was tired. You got to do that honk shoe.
Did I drop my trailer in the middle of the highway to go get sleeping gas? Every time.
Yeah, every time. Wonder why I have so many accidents. But no, BPL 14 is hilarious. There's a lot of people who play a lot of stuff. Everyone really enjoys their jobs. There's a lot of really fun things to do. There's a lot of crazy people. And that is really what adds flavor to it, because there's a natural spiciness.
There's 10th Street. That's one over
10th Street.
And there's the 8th Street Bridge. Both these are actually exits that we could normally take going through Topeka.
I see.
That is actually Topeka DOC right there.
Huh.
It's their jail.
Huh.
They put their jail in this game. I think they
but not Lawrence or
their office building, but that's what it looks like.
I see. I see. No, I was laughing my ass off just because of watching some of the rounds. Some of the BPL 14 people are just inventive and crazy, and people just start coming up with things. But I had this great shenanigan I did. So there's a thing that you can research and then build called an artifact crusher, and you crush like alien weird artifacts to recycle them, more or less. But if you put people or living things in them, they explode. Right? They just gib. Right? So we had built it. I was in the science department. I'm sitting there with a lab coat and a clipboard and science goggles on. And I'm crushing ape after ape in this thing. Two people who were late joins join as OSHA inspectors. Like, they're just role-playing OSHA inspectors, like noting, oh, that could shock somebody, that's dangerous, that's not up to code, where's the guardrail? And they both show up, and they both have hard hats and suits on, and briefcases. And they come into the science department. The guy goes, what in the name of God is this? Now, I realize I could say science, I could say nothing and just keep crushing apes. But instead, I felt the need to take the stage, right?
Yeah.
So I said, for too long, man has been constrained by 3 dimensions. By using this apparatus, I will compress man so that it will be possible to seek and explore the 2nd dimension. And they just stared in mute horror as I crushed a guy. And they saw like the organs bounce out and hit the wall and blood pool out of the machine, and they're like, my God, you just killed that man. And I was like, he could be around us at this very moment, exploring the 2nd dimension. I wonder what he will see.
Oh.
And so people have started doing that on other servers, just crushing stuff and be like, no, we're exploring the 2nd dimension.
I told you about Monkey Police, right?
Yes, that was great. Yeah, no, tell everyone here, like, what you did.
God, I late joined a round of Goon, and they had no security officers. They had, like, the warden, and I joined as the detective. And there's Revs or Colt or something going on. And the captain starts screaming that he needs cops. He needs sec. We need sec officers. So the hop is already missing, so nobody can reassign people to be sec. And I'm like, I have an idea. We're gonna have some sec. So I managed to get cargo to order monkeys for me, and we ordered like 40 or 50 monkeys, and me and a cargo tech fight these monkeys into security backpacks and hats, and then release them in the hallways, and then go fight another one, because they're fighting like the third monkey on the ramp to the Ark, man, right? They do not want to wear backpacks. But you can do it if you're determined enough.
Yeah.
We just slowly mass this army of monkeys that's spreading out from set, because that's where we're stealing all the backpacks from. It's the lockers. And then the captain gets on general comms and he goes, "Why is there a monkey in a sec pack?"
That's great.
I just beat the shit out of everybody. They're the best sec officers I've ever seen.
I remember the one time we had the monkey harvesting operation in cargo because we found out that their organs and meat was worth money.
Yes.
So we had like 30 monkeys in cargo, and you could hear just rampant gunfire and ricochets from in the cargo bay, and apes screaming. And this guy was sitting there going, "Mother of God, like, what's going on in cargo?" And I was like, this is a farm to table operation, sir. They're like, "Do you have guns?" And I said, "No."
God.
I'm negative 78,000.
I'm 4 in the hole. Cage to table operation?
Yeah.
Well, if I recall, you'd ordered them as pills, hadn't you?
Yeah, like they were little cubes, so
Yes.
we were growing them, then blowing them up.
Cube to cage to table?
Yeah. Well, there was that, and then there was the time we started the singular.
Is what that is.
That is. And then there was the time we started the Singulo petting zoo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was bad. They're like, "Are you running a fucking Singulo and cargo?" And we were like, "No." And they were like, "What do you mean no?" And I said, "Well, it's not a Singulo. There's 6 of them." And they're like, "What?" Then they came in there and I said, "It's a petting zoo." And the captain said, "Oh, they're so cute when they're little," and got sucked in. And I was like, "That's why you stay back here, sir." Or that time we routed the...
physics text.
Did we?
I did.
What Oh, no.
I
What happened?
was riding the rail. I was doing a 360 no-look grind, or whatever that is. I haven't
Oh,
played
no.
Tony Hawk in like 20 years.
Yeah.
Dep has angered the clang.
Yeah.
If you have 6 of them, doesn't that make it a hexulo?
Well, it was great because we had that. Then there was the time we routed the PTL laser. That is an episode on the channel. It's called the Cargonian Laser Limbo. Mm-hmm. There's this PTL laser that is just going through the hallway, like 50 bajillion megawatts of power. And one guy says, "Is that a laser?" And I said, "It's like a laser." And the guy stood in front of it. Now, when a security officer dies on VG station, you hear the tone of them dying in the radio announcement from Half-Life 2 from the Combine. Mm-hmm. So the guy stood in front of it, there was a second of lag, and then it played that instantly. Like, he was insta-dead. And all that we did when they complained about us killing a security officer was a guy spray-painted a chevron in front and after the laser. Just as a warning. No other precautions were necessary. It was clearly marked. I'm gonna deliver this fucking thing.
Yeah, we made it. We're here. I want to know how much money you make on this one.
Alright. Base reward, damage penalty. Boy. Oof. Alright. Yeah. I am negative 83,000 now.
It cost you money?
It cost me money. I drove all that way for nothing. That's not to mention the damage I did along the way.
No, we're not fucking with that. Okay. 15 grand damage penalty. I made 50 grand off that.
I did not. I
5.6 cargo damage.
I was a lot more than that. It was an extreme amount of cargo damage.
Maybe the
Like
real
like
friends was the damage we made along the way.
they're like, "Hey, you want to take?" After what I did, they're like, "Hey, you want to take this thing to Arizona?" I'm like, "I can't afford to. I'm gonna have to in single player park on the side of the road, drive 10 feet, and then nap 5 times to let my people earn money."
Yeah, yeah, let them undo that damage.
Yeah. All right. So what now?
I want to go look at Pittsburgh.
All right.
I mean, it's 7:05, so we've got Farm Sim Fridays coming up real fast.
Yeah, we should probably let them have their time.
Yep. So,
Next time we can explore Pittsburgh.
well, yeah.
Yeah. You just leave. All right, I think that says it, guys. Next up is going to be Farm Sim Friday, where if you thought our shenanigans were bad, theirs are far worse.
Yeah, yeah, they're doing other stuff.
They're doing just as bad, but different, with different equipment.
My people meet me. Let's go.
Yes, indeed.
I want to see if the Perkins is here.
The Perkins restaurant.
It's like the last Perkins in the state.
Ah.
I've got the amount of rusty Ford pickups from the 80s, right? They're too bright a color, though. Pittsburgh's not quite this nice a downtown area. A lot of these buildings are kind of abandoned. In between businesses.
So this guy has written actual Space Station 13 poetry.
Good for him.
I will read one on the air if
Yeah,
that's okay.
and that'll be our ending for the.
All right, that sounds fine. This is inspired by The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and it's called The Hull Not Tided. Two hulls diverged in Inge's mainthood, and sorry I could not pillage all, and be one tighter. Long I stood, and looked down as far as I could, to where it turned dark, steel wall. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better loot, because I had insoles that I must wear. Though as for that the passing there, had shown them really the same suit. And both that work shift equally lay, in shadows that broken lights left black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, oh, many so shifts since, two corridors split in a hall, and I took the one less tided by, and that has made all the difference.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. More shit posts. And well written.
Alright, we are out of here. You all have a good night.
Enjoy your weekend.
And be safe out there.
Yeah.